The call comes on a Tuesday morning, right as Maya Torres is flipping pancakes for two 5-year-olds who are arguing over which cartoon character would win in a fight. The voice on the other end is bright, breezy, completely unbothered. Hi, yes, this is Isabella. I'm calling to let you know I'll be stopping by the house today around 11. I'm coming to visit my children. Maya's hand tightens around the spatula. The pancake on the griddle starts to burn at the edges, but she doesn't move. She doesn't breathe. My children. 2 words. Casual as a weather report. Maya's voice comes out steady, professional, like she's confirming a delivery. What time did you say? 11. That works, right? I assume they're there. They, not their names. Not Ethan and Sophia. They. Maya glances at the twins, who are now laughing over something on the tablet, syrup on their fingers, completely unaware that the woman who gave birth to them just scheduled them like a dentist appointment. They're here, Maya says. Perfect. See you then. The line goes dead. Maya sets the phone down on the counter and stares at it like it might explode. Her heart is pounding so hard she can feel it in her throat, but her face is calm, smooth. She's had 5 years of practice keeping her face smooth when everything inside her is screaming. Sophia looks up. Maya, is the pancake ready? Maya blinks, flips the pancake, too late, it's dark brown on one side, and slides it onto a plate anyway. Here you go, sweetheart. Ethan frowns at it. It's burnt. I know. Maya says quietly, I'll make you another one. But her hands are shaking now, just slightly, and she grips the counter to steady herself. Isabella is coming back, after 5 years of silence. 5 years of building a life from the wreckage she left behind. 5 years of 3 a.m., fevers and first words and scraped knees and bedtime stories, and every single moment that turns strangers into family. Isabella is coming back, and she called Maya to tell her. Not Elliot. Not the father of her children, the help, because that's all Maya has ever been to her. The maid, the staff, the woman who cleans up after other people's lives. Maya takes a slow breath and pours more batter onto the griddle. She doesn't let herself think about what this means. Not yet. Not while the twins are watching. She just keeps flipping pancakes and waits. By the time the car pulls into the circular driveway at 10:58, Maya has cleaned the kitchen, dressed the twins in their good clothes, and put on the kind of calm that looks effortless but costs everything. She stands in the hallway and watches through the window as Isabella steps out of a sleek black luxury sedan. Designer sunglasses, heels that cost more than most people's rent, a dress that looks like it was chosen specifically to communicate success. Isabella pauses before walking to the door, checking her reflection in the car window, adjusting her hair. Maya feels something cold settle in her chest. This isn't a mother returning to her children. This is a performance. The doorbell rings. Maya doesn't rush. She walks to the door at an even pace, smooths her hands down the front of her jeans and opens it. Isabella's smile is wide, practiced, the kind of smile you give someone whose name you don't quite remember but whose function you recognize. Hi, Isabella says brightly, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. Wow. The place looks incredible. Did you redecorate? Maya closes the door behind her. Mr. Wilson hired a designer last year. Of course he did. Isabella laughs, pulling off her sunglasses and looking around like she's touring a museum. Everything's so different, bigger. Is that new art? Yes. It's beautiful. Isabella hands Maya her coat and purse in one smooth motion, the way you hand things to someone whose job is to hold them. Maya takes them, hangs the coat in the closet, sets the purse on the entry table, says nothing. Isabella has already moved into the living room, heels clicking on the marble. She's touching things, running her fingers along the back of a chair, examining a vase, looking at family photos on the mantel. She stops at one. It's recent. Elliot and the twins at the beach, all 3 of them laughing, sand on their faces, pure joy. Isabella stares at it for a long moment. Then she sets it down and turns back to Maya with that same bright smile. So, she says, settling onto the couch like she owns it. How have you been? Still working here, I see. Maya doesn't sit. Yes. That's wonderful. Stability is so important. Isabella crosses her legs, glances around. Could I get some water? Sparkling, if you have it. Maya nods and walks to the kitchen. Her hands are steady as she opens the refrigerator, pulls out the glass bottle, pours it into a crystal glass. She can feel Isabella's presence in the other room like a storm system moving in. When she returns, Isabella accepts the glass without looking at her. Thank you. She takes a sip, then sets it down. God, it feels strange being back here. So many memories. Maya stands near the doorway, waiting. Isabella doesn't seem to notice her silence. Or maybe she does, and it doesn't matter. She keeps talking, her voice light and easy, like she's catching up with an old friend. She talks about the last 5 years like they were a vacation, the places she's been, the people she's met, the experiences she's had. She mentions a yacht in the Mediterranean, a charity gala in Monaco, courtside seats at a championship game. She doesn't mention the twins, not once. Maya listens and feels something hard and sharp forming in her chest. Not anger, not yet. Something colder, clearer. Finally, Isabella pauses, takes another sip of water, and looks at Maya like she's just remembered why she's here. So, she says, her tone shifting to something almost businesslike. The twins. Are they here? Not Ethan and Sophia. The twins. Maya keeps her voice even. They're in the playroom. Oh, perfect. Isabella smiles. I'd love to see them, but actually first, is Elliot here? I was hoping to talk to him. He's in a board meeting. He'll be home in about an hour. Isabella's smile tightens just slightly. An hour, of course. Always working. She says it like a criticism, like she's commenting on a flaw she's noticed before. Maya doesn't respond. Isabella leans back, drumming her fingers on her knee. You know, he was different before all this. The money, the company. He used to actually be present. She looks at Maya, as if expecting confirmation, agreement, solidarity. Maya offers neither. Isabella's eyes narrow, just a fraction. Then she seems to shake it off, her smile returning. Well, I suppose that's what success does, changes people. The implication hangs in the air. Isabella knew him before. Isabella has history. Isabella remembers a version of Elliot that Maya never met. It's meant to establish hierarchy, to remind Maya of her place. Maya doesn't take the bait. She just stands there, calm and still, and waits. Isabella shifts in her seat, suddenly uncomfortable with the silence. Anyway, she says, her voice a little harder now. I wanted to talk to Elliot first, but I suppose I can see the children while I wait. She says it like she's doing everyone a favor. Maya nods. I'll bring them down. Are they? Isabella pauses, searching for the right word. Are they healthy, developing normally? It's the same question she asked on the rare phone calls over the years. Clinical. Detached. Like she's checking the status of a subscription service. They're perfect, Maya says quietly. Isabella seems satisfied. Good. That's good. Maya turns to leave, but Isabella's voice stops her. Oh, and Maya? She looks back. Isabella's smile is thin now, edged with something Maya can't quite name. Thank you. For everything you've done. I know it must have been a lot, taking care of them all this time. The words sound like gratitude, but they feel like dismissal, like a performance of appreciation from someone who's about to reclaim what's theirs. Maya doesn't say you're welcome. She doesn't say anything. She just walks out of the room and heads upstairs, her heart pounding harder with every step. The twins are building a tower out of blocks in the playroom, arguing cheerfully about whether it needs a flag or a dragon on top. Maya stands in the doorway and watches them for a moment, trying to memorize this. The ease, the safety, the world where they are loved and certain and whole. Hey guys, she says softly. They both look up, faces bright. We're making a castle. Sophia announces, I see that. It's beautiful. Maya crouches down to their level. Listen, there's someone downstairs who wants to meet you. Ethan tilts his head. Who? Maya chooses her words carefully. Her name is Isabella. She knew you when you were very, very small. Before you could walk or talk. Sophia frowns. How small? Baby small? Oh, Sophia seems to accept this. Okay. Ethan is more suspicious. Why does she want to meet us now? Maya's chest tightens. She's visiting. She wants to say hello. Do we have to? Ethan asks. Maya forces a smile. Just for a little bit. Then you can come back up and finish your castle. Sophia takes Maya's hand. Will you stay with us? Of course. Ethan takes her other hand, and the three of them walk downstairs together. Maya can feel the twins' small fingers wrapped around hers, trusting and warm, and she thinks with sudden fierce clarity, I will not let her hurt them. Whatever happens next, she will not let Isabella make these children feel unwanted. Not again. When they enter the living room, Isabella stands up quickly, her face arranged into an expression of maternal warmth that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Oh my God, she breathes, pressing a hand to her chest. Look at you. You're so big. The twins stare at her. Isabella crouches down, arms open, like she's expecting them to run to her. Hi, babies. Do you know who I am? Ethan and Sophia look at each other, then at Maya, then back at Isabella. No, Ethan says bluntly. Isabella's smile falters. She laughs, but it sounds forced. I'm your mommy. Sophia's face scrunches up in confusion. She looks up at Maya. No, you're not. The room goes very still. Isabella's smile freezes in place. Yes, sweetheart, I am. I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. Ethan's confusion deepens. What does that mean? Isabella glances at Maya, something sharp and accusatory flashing in her eyes. Then she looks back at the twins, her voice gentler, more patient. It means I'm your mom. I carried you inside me before you were born. You came from me. Sophia looks skeptical. She tugs on Maya's hand. Maya, what's she talking about? Maya keeps her voice calm, warm, like she's explaining something simple. Isabella is the woman who brought you into the world. That's a very special thing. She's visiting today to see how much you've grown. The twins seem to accept this explanation with the easy logic of children. Oh, Sophia says. Okay. Ethan nods. Hi. Isabella's face is pale now, her smile strained. Don't you want to talk to me? I've missed you so much. The twins look at each other again. We don't know you, Sophia says, matter of fact. It's not said with cruelty. It's just the truth, delivered with the brutal honesty only children can manage. Isabella stands abruptly, her composure cracking. She looks at Maya, then at the twins, then back at Maya. They don't even know who I am. Maya doesn't answer. Isabella's voice rises, edged with something close to panic. Did you tell them about me? Did you ever mention me? Yes, Maya says, quietly. When they asked questions, I answered them. What did you tell them? The truth. That their birth mother loved them but couldn't stay. Isabella flinches. Couldn't stay. You made it sound like I didn't have a choice. Maya meets her gaze, steady and unflinching. Didn't you? The question lands like a stone in still water. Isabella's jaw tightens. She turns back to the twins, forcing her voice into something lighter, more appealing. Do you want to see some pictures? I have photos on my phone of all the amazing places I've been. Maybe you'd like to visit them someday. Would you like that? Ethan shrugs. I guess. Isabella pulls out her phone, scrolling quickly, then crouches down again and holds it out. Look, this is me in Italy, and this is a beach in Greece, and this one... Sophia glances at the screen with polite disinterest. Ethan looks at it for a moment, then turns to Maya. We went to the Science Museum last week. Maya nods. We did. There was a dinosaur, Ethan tells Isabella proudly. A real one. Well, bones. But it was huge. Sophia bounces on her toes. And we got to touch a rock from space. They're not trying to be cruel. They're just talking about what matters to them. What's real. But Isabella's face goes blank, her hand slowly lowering the phone. She tries one more time. That sounds fun. But wouldn't you like to go somewhere with me? Just the three of us? Sophia looks uncertain. She moves closer to Maya, pressing against her leg. Ethan's voice is small. Can Maya come? Isabella's smile is gone now. No, sweetie. Just us. You, me, and your sister. I don't want to, Sophia says immediately. Ethan shakes his head. Me neither. Isabella's breathing quickens. She looks up at Maya, and for the first time, there's something raw in her expression. What did you do to them? Maya's voice is gentle but firm. I raised them. They're supposed to love me. I'm their mother. You're the woman who gave birth to them, Maya says quietly. But they don't know you. Isabella stands again, her movements jerky, agitated. She reaches out towards Sophia, trying to touch her hair, but Sophia steps back instinctively, hiding behind Maya's legs. Isabella's hand freezes in midair. She pulls it back slowly, her face crumpling, and for a second, just a second, Maya almost feels sorry for her. Almost. But then Sophia whispers, Can we go back upstairs now? And Maya remembers exactly what's at stake. In just a minute, sweetheart, Maya says softly. Isabella is staring at the twins like they're strangers. Like she's seeing them for the first time and realizing she doesn't recognize anything about them. Which, of course, she doesn't, because she left when they were 4 months old, and she never came back. The front door opens. Elliot Wilson walks in, his suit jacket slung over one arm, his phone in his other hand. He's mid-sentence with someone on a call, his voice clipped and professional. But the moment he sees Isabella standing in his living room, he stops. Everything stops. He ends the call without saying goodbye and sets his phone down on the entry table. Isabella. His voice is flat, neutral, not warm, not cold, just empty. Isabella turns toward him, and her entire demeanor shifts. The frustration, the desperation, it all smooths over, replaced by something softer, more appealing. She smiles, the kind of smile that used to work on him once, a long time ago. Elliot, you look good, really good. Elliot doesn't return the smile. He just looks at her, then at Maya and the twins, then back at Isabella. Why are you here? The question is blunt. No preamble, no politeness. Isabella's smile wavers. I wanted to see the children. It's been too long. 5 years. I know. She steps toward him, her voice dropping into something more intimate. I know it's been a long time, but I've been thinking about them, about you, about everything. Elliot doesn't move. What happened to your athlete? The question slices through the room. Isabella freezes. Her face flushes. What? The professional athlete. The one you left for. What happened to him? Maya watches Isabella's expression shift. Surprise, then defensiveness, then something that looks like shame. That's not why I'm here, Isabella says quickly. I'm not here to talk about him. I'm here for my children. Your children, Elliot repeats slowly. The ones you haven't seen in 5 years. The ones you signed away. Isabella's eyes widen. I didn't sign them away. You terminated your parental rights, Elliot says, his voice still calm, still controlled. 6 months after you left, your lawyer contacted mine. You wanted a clean break, remember? Isabella's mouth opens, then closes. She looks rattled now, off balance. I was in a difficult place. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking clearly enough to ask for it in writing. Maya's heart is pounding. She glances down at the twins, who are watching this exchange with wide eyes, confusion written all over their faces. Guys, Maya says softly, why don't you go back upstairs? I'll be up in a few minutes. Sophia looks up at her. Are you sure? I'm sure. Ethan doesn't look convinced, but he takes Sophia's hand. Come on. They leave, casting uncertain glances back at the adults, and Maya watches them go with her chest aching. When the twins are out of earshot, Isabella turns on Elliot, her voice sharp now, all pretense of warmth gone. You told them I signed paperwork? I didn't tell them anything, Elliot says. They don't ask about you, they don't think about you, because to them, you don't exist. The words are brutal. True. Isabella's face twists. That's not fair. No, Elliot agrees. It's not. But it's reality. Isabella looks around wildly, like she's searching for something to hold on to, some argument that will turn this around. Her eyes land on Maya, and something in her expression hardens. Is this because of her? Isabella's voice drips with accusation. Did you let the maid poison them against me? Maya doesn't react. She just stands there, silent and still. But Elliot's entire body goes rigid. Don't, he says quietly. Isabella ignores him, stepping closer to Maya, her voice rising. Did you tell them I abandoned them? Did you make me the villain so you could play house? Maya's voice is calm. I told them their birth mother loved them but couldn't stay. I never said a single negative word about you. Then, why don't they know me? Because you weren't here. The simplicity of the answer is devastating. Isabella's breathing is ragged now. She looks back at Elliot, her voice breaking. I made a mistake. I know I did. But I'm here now. I want to fix this. I want to be part of their lives again. Elliot stares at her for a long moment. Then he says, You saw the Forbes cover. Isabella goes very still. That's why you're here, Elliot continues, his voice quiet but cutting. You saw the valuation. You saw the profile. And you decided I was worth coming back for. That's not, Isabella starts, but her voice is weak. What happened to him, Isabella? The athlete. What happened? Her jaw clenches. She doesn't answer. He dumped you, Elliot says. It's not a question. Isabella's face crumples. That has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with this. Elliot's voice is still controlled, but there's steel underneath. You left your children for a man who promised you a better life. And when that didn't work out, you came back to see if the life you abandoned had upgraded enough to be worth your time. That's not true, Isabella whispers, but the protest sounds hollow even to her. Maya stands frozen, watching this unfold. She wants to leave, to give them privacy, but her feet won't move. Elliot crosses his arms. You want to know why the twins don't know you? It's not because Maya turned them against you. It's because children love the people who show up. And you didn't. Isabella's voice cracks. I was young. I was scared. So was Maya. The statement stops Isabella cold. Elliot continues, his voice softer now but no less firm. She was 23. She just had her heart broken. She had no experience with children. But when you left, she stayed. She didn't ask for more money. She didn't ask for recognition. She just stayed. And she became the person those kids needed. Isabella looks at Maya, really looks at her for the first time. And Maya sees the moment Isabella registers it. The way the twins clung to her. The way they hid behind her legs. The way they trusted her without question. The way they loved her. Isabella's voice is barely audible. They call her Mom, don't they? Elliot doesn't answer. He doesn't have to. Isabella closes her eyes, her whole body sagging. When she opens them again, there's something desperate in her gaze. I want to see them again, she says. I want a chance to build a relationship with them. They don't want that, Elliot says gently. You saw how they reacted. They're children. They don't know what they want. They know who makes them feel safe, Elliot counters. And it's not you. Isabella's hands ball into fists. I have rights. I'm their biological mother. No, Elliot interrupts. You terminated your rights. You don't get to come back 5 years later and pretend that didn't happen. Isabella's voice turns cold. I can challenge that. I can take you to court. The threat hangs in the air. Maya's heart stops. Elliot's expression doesn't change. You could try. I will, Isabella says, her voice shaking. If you don't let me see them, I will. No judge is going to keep a mother from her children. Even a mother who abandoned them? Elliot asks quietly. Even a mother who chose a man over her infants? Even a mother who hasn't called in 3 years? Isabella's face is flushed now, anger and humiliation warring in her expression. I'll tell them you kept me away. I'll tell them you manipulated me into signing those papers. I'll make this ugly, Elliot. It's already ugly, Elliot says. You made it ugly the night you left. Isabella's voice cracks. I made a mistake. Yes, Elliot agrees. You did, and the consequence is that your children don't know you. The finality in his voice seems to break something in Isabella. She sinks onto the couch, her head in her hands. For a long moment, no one speaks. Then Isabella looks up, her eyes red but her voice steady. I want to talk to her. Elliot frowns. Who? Her? Isabella points at Maya, the maid. I want to talk to her alone. Maya's stomach drops. Elliot looks at Maya, his expression questioning. She can say no. He'll support her if she does. But Maya finds herself nodding. Okay, she says quietly. Elliot hesitates. You don't have to. It's fine, Maya says. It's not fine, but she needs to face this. She needs to look Isabella in the eye and make sure this woman understands exactly what's at stake. Elliot searches her face for a moment and nods. I'll be in my office. Call if you need me. He leaves, and the room feels suddenly smaller. Isabella and Maya stare at each other across the space, and Maya realizes with a strange clarity that this moment was always coming. This reckoning, this confrontation, the woman who left and the woman who stayed. Only one of them gets to be the mother. And Maya has no intention of losing. Isabella speaks first, her voice tight and controlled. I want you to know that I'm going to fight this. I'm going to get my children back. Maya doesn't sit down. She stands with her arms at her sides, her posture calm but her eyes sharp. They're not yours to get back. I gave birth to them. And then you left them. Isabella flinches. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. Maya interrupts quietly. You thought you were trading up. You thought a millionaire athlete was a better life than this one. And when that didn't work out, you came back to see if Elliot had become worth your time. Isabella's face goes red. How dare you? I'm not finished. Maya's voice is still calm, but there's steel underneath now. You didn't come back because you missed the twins. You came back because you saw Elliot on the cover of a magazine and realized what you walked away from. This isn't about them. It's about you. It's always been about you. Isabella stands, her hands trembling. You have no right to judge me. I'm not judging you, Maya says. I'm just stating facts. You think you're their mother? Isabella's voice is sharp, cutting. You think because you played house for 5 years that you get to replace me? Maya meets her gaze without flinching. I didn't replace you. You were never here to replace. The words land like a slap. Isabella's breathing is ragged. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. That doesn't mean I should lose my children forever. You didn't lose them, Maya says softly. You gave them away. I was scared. So was I. Maya's voice is quiet but firm. I was terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea how to take care of infants, but I stayed. Because they needed someone, and no one else was going to do it. Isabella's jaw clenches. You act like you're some kind of saint. I'm not a saint, Maya interrupts. I'm just someone who showed up. The simplicity of it seems to infuriate Isabella even more. You've turned them against me, she accuses. You've made sure they don't know me, so you can keep them for yourself. Maya shakes her head slowly. I've never said a single negative word about you to them. When they asked where their birth mother was, I told them you loved them, but couldn't stay. I protected your image, even when you didn't deserve it. Then why don't they want me? Because love isn't biology, Maya says gently. It's presence. It's showing up when they're sick at 3 a.m. It's knowing which twin needs the nightlight and which one needs the door cracked open. It's being there for the hard, boring, exhausting parts, not just showing up when it's convenient. Isabella's hands are shaking now. You have no idea what it was like. You're right, Maya agrees. I don't know what it's like to leave 2 babies in cribs and get on a private jet with someone else. I can't imagine doing that. The room goes silent. Isabella stares at her, and for the first time, something in her expression shifts. Not anger, not defensiveness. Shame. I was drowning, Isabella whispers. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was disappearing. Maya's voice softens, just slightly. Then you should have asked for help. You should have talked to Elliot. You should have done anything except walk away. He was always working, so he could build a future for his family, Maya says. While you were looking for an exit, Isabella sinks back onto the couch, her face in her hands. I thought I'd come back. I thought I'd figure things out and come back when I was ready. But you didn't. No, Isabella admits quietly. I didn't. Maya watches her, this woman who once had everything and threw it away because she thought something better was waiting. And now she's here, begging for scraps of a life she abandoned. Isabella looks up, her eyes red. What do you want from me? Nothing, Maya says honestly. I just want you to leave them alone. They're my children. No, Maya's voice is firm now. They're their own people, and they've chosen who they feel safe with. If you force yourself into their lives right now, you'll traumatize them. You'll confuse them. You'll make them feel like the world isn't safe. Isabella's voice breaks. I just want a chance. Then wait, Maya says. Wait until they're old enough to understand. Wait until they can choose for themselves whether they want a relationship with you. But don't do this now. Don't hurt them because you're hurt. Isabella stares at her for a long moment. Then she says, voice bitter, You've won. Is that what you want to hear? You've won. Maya shakes her head slowly. This was never a competition, wasn't it? Isabella's laugh is hollow. You got everything I walked away from. The man, the family, the life. You must feel so proud. I feel exhausted, Maya says quietly. I've spent 5 years holding this family together while you were living your best life on someone else's yacht. I didn't win anything. I just didn't quit. The truth of it hangs in the air between them. Isabella stands abruptly, grabbing her purse from the table. I'm going to talk to a lawyer. I'm going to see what my options are. You do that, Maya says calmly. But you should know, Elliot has documentation of everything. Every missed call, every birthday you forgot, every termination form you signed. If you take this to court, it's all going to come out. Isabella's hand tightens on her purse. Are you threatening me? I'm telling you the truth, Maya says. You can fight this, but you won't win, and the only people who will get hurt are those kids. Isabella's face is pale. She opens her mouth, closes it, then turns toward the door. She stops with her hand on the knob. Do you love him? She asks without turning around. Maya doesn't hesitate. Yes. Isabella's shoulders sag. Did you, while we were together? No. I didn't even think of him that way until long after you were gone. Isabella turns slightly, just enough to see Maya's face. Does he love you? Maya's voice is quiet. You'd have to ask him. But they both know the answer. Isabella nods slowly, something broken in her expression. I really did think I'd come back. I thought there'd be time. There was time, Maya says gently. 5 years of it. You just didn't use it. Isabella's eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't let them fall. She straightens her shoulders, lifts her chin, and opens the door. This isn't over, she says, but her voice lacks conviction. Yes, Maya says quietly. It is. Isabella walks out, and the door closes behind her with a soft click. Maya stands alone in the living room, her heart pounding, her hands shaking, and she realizes she's been holding her breath. She lets it out slowly. It's not over. She knows that. Isabella will talk to lawyers. She'll look for leverage. She'll try to find a way back in. But Maya isn't afraid anymore, because she knows something Isabella doesn't. She knows that love isn't about who gave birth. It's about who stayed. Maya finds Elliot in his office, staring at his computer screen but not really seeing it. She knocks lightly on the doorframe. He looks up, and his expression immediately softens. "Are you okay?" Maya nods, stepping inside. She left. I heard the door. Elliot leans back in his chair, studying her face. What did she say? She's going to talk to a lawyer. Elliot's jaw tightens, but he doesn't look surprised. I expected that. She thinks she can get them back. She can't. Elliot's voice is firm. The legal side is airtight. She signed away her rights. She has no standing. Maya nods, but she can't shake the cold knot of anxiety in her chest. Elliot stands, crossing to her. He stops just in front of her, close enough that she can feel the warmth of him, see the concern in his eyes. "Hey," he says softly. "She can't take them. I promise you." "I know," Maya whispers. What if she tries? What if she drags this out and it becomes this ugly thing and the twins get caught in the middle? Then we protect them, Elliot says, like we always have. The word settles something in Maya's chest. She looks up at him, this man who's been a constant in her life for 5 years, and realizes that somewhere along the way, they stopped being employer and employee. They became partners. Elliot's hand lifts, hesitates, then gently brushes a strand of hair from her face. "You know you're not the maid, right?" Maya's breath catches. "I know you started as one," Elliot continues, his voice low. "But you haven't been that for a long time. You're everything, Maya. To them, to me." Her heart is hammering now, so loud she's sure he can hear it. "Elliot, I need to tell you something," he says, his hands still hovering near her face. "I should have told you a long time ago, but I didn't want to make things complicated. I didn't want you to feel pressured or uncomfortable or—" "Elliot," Maya says again, and this time he stops. He looks at her, vulnerable in a way she's never seen him. "Just say it," she whispers. He takes a breath. "I'm in love with you." The world stops. Maya stares at him, the words echoing in her head, rearranging everything she thought she knew. "I've been in love with you for 2 years," Elliot continues, the words tumbling out now, like he can't stop them. "Maybe longer. I don't even know when it started. I just know that one day I looked at you with the twins, and I realized you were the most important person in my life. And I didn't know how to tell you without ruining everything." Maya can't breathe. Can't think. "You don't have to say anything," Elliot adds quickly. "I just needed you to know. Especially now. Especially after today. I need you to know that you're not just the person who takes care of my kids. You're the person I want to build a life with." Maya's eyes are burning. "I wanted to wait," Elliot says softly. "I wanted to make sure the legal stuff with Isabella was settled. I wanted to do this right. But after what happened today, I can't wait anymore." He reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out a small velvet box. Maya's heart stops. Elliot opens it, revealing a ring. Simple, elegant, perfect. "I'm not asking you right now," he says quickly. "I know the timing is terrible. I know you need time to process everything. But I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to know that this is real, that I'm serious, that I want you, not as the nanny, not as the COO, but as my partner, my wife, the twins' mom." Maya's vision blurs with tears. She spent 5 years believing she was invisible, believing she was useful but not essential, believing she was building a life on borrowed time. And now this man, this brilliant, kind, complicated man is telling her she's everything. "I love you," Elliot says again, his voice raw. "And I don't care if that's complicated or inconvenient or if people think it's strange. I just care that it's true." Maya's hands are shaking. She reaches out, takes the box from him, and stares at the ring inside. "It's real. This is real." She looks up at Elliot, and the words come out broken but certain. "I love you too." Elliot's expression transforms, relief and joy, and something so deep and real that it makes Maya's chest ache. He cups her face in his hands, and when he kisses her, it feels like coming home. Like the end of 5 years of waiting. Like the beginning of everything. 3 months pass. 3 months of careful rebuilding, of legal consultations, of making sure every piece is in place to protect the family that Maya and Elliot have built together. Isabella does contact a lawyer. She makes inquiries about custody. about challenging the termination of parental rights, about forcing visitation, but every door closes in her face. The documentation is ironclad. The termination papers she signed. The emails where she expressed relief at being free of parental responsibility. The gaps in communication. 3 years of absolute silence. And then there's the matter of Maya's adoption. 2 weeks after Isabella's visit, the legal process that had been quietly moving forward for 18 months finally completes. Maya Torres becomes the legal mother of Ethan and Sophia Wilson. Not the stepmother. Not the adoptive mother with qualifications. The mother. On paper. In practice. In every way that matters. When the judge signs the final documents, Maya sits in the courtroom with Elliot beside her and the twins in the hallway with a social worker, and she feels something shift in her chest. A weight she didn't know she was carrying finally lifts. They're hers, not because she gave birth to them, not because she's been useful or convenient or good enough, because she chose them, and they chose her. And now the law recognizes what's been true for years. Isabella's lawyer contacts Elliot's lawyer 3 days later. The message is brief. His client has decided not to pursue legal action at this time. Elliot reads the email aloud to Maya in the kitchen while the twins are at school, and Maya just nods, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee that's gone cold. She doesn't feel victorious, she just feels tired. Is it really over? She asks quietly. Elliot sets his phone down. The legal part is, but she might come back. People like Isabella don't give up easily when their ego gets bruised. Maya looks at him. Do you think she will? Come back? Elliot considers this. Maybe. Especially if she sees something that makes her feel like she's missing out. Like what? Elliot's expression shifts into something softer, more nervous. Like us getting married. Maya's breath catches. They haven't talked about it since that day in his office. The ring has been sitting in Elliot's desk drawer, waiting. They've been careful, deliberate, making sure the legal foundation was solid before they built anything else on top of it. But now the paperwork is done. The twins are legally hers. And Elliot is looking at her with an expression that makes her heart race. I want to ask you properly, he says, with the twins there. I want to do it right. Maya's throat tightens. When? Tonight. Elliot reaches across the table and takes her hand. If that's okay. I know it's fast. I know we should probably wait longer. But I don't want to. I've been waiting for years, Maya. I don't want to wait anymore. Maya looks down at their joined hands and thinks about all the years of quiet longing, of loving him from a distance, of believing she had to choose between being honest and being safe. She doesn't want to wait anymore either. Tonight, she agrees, and Elliot smiles like she's just given him the world. That evening, after dinner, after baths, after the twins are in their pajamas and arguing about which movie to watch, Elliot catches Maya's eye across the living room. He nods slightly. Maya's heart starts hammering. Elliot clears his throat. Hey guys, before we start the movie, we need to talk about something important. Ethan and Sophia immediately look suspicious. Important talks usually mean rules or changes or things they don't want to hear. Am the first in trouble? Ethan asks. No, Elliot says, smiling. Nobody's in trouble. But I need to ask you both something, and I need you to be honest with me. The twins exchange glances. Sophia climbs onto the couch next to Maya, curling into her side. Ethan stays on the floor but scoots closer. Elliot kneels down so he's eye level with them. You know how much I love Maya, right? Both twins nod. And you know how much she loves us? Yeah, Sophia says. She tells us every day. She does, Elliot agrees. And I want to ask her to marry me. So we can be a real family, officially. Ethan frowns. Aren't we already a family? We are, Maya says softly, running her fingers through his hair. But marriage makes it extra official. Like on paper? Sophia asks. Exactly like that. Ethan thinks about this. So you'd be our mom and dad? For real? I'm already your mom for real, Maya says gently. Marriage would make me your dad's wife. And we'd all have the same last name? Sophia asks. Maya glances at Elliot, who nods. If that's what everyone wants, yes. The twins look at each other, having one of those silent conversations that only siblings can have. Then Ethan grins. Can we help? Elliot laughs, the sound full of relief and joy. Actually, I was hoping you would. He pulls the velvet box from his pocket, and both twins gasp. Is that the ring? Sophia whispers, her eyes huge. It is. And I need you two to help me ask her properly. The twins scramble to their feet, suddenly very serious, very focused. Elliot hands Sophia the box. You hold this, and Ethan, you're going to ask the question with me. Deal? Deal, Ethan says solemnly. They practice once, whispering and giggling, and Maya watches with her heart so full it feels like it might burst. Then Elliot nods. The twins rush to Maya, Sophia holding the box out in front of her like it's made of glass. Maya, Ethan says, his voice very formal. Will you marry our dad? Sophia opens the box. Please say yes. We really want you to. Maya looks at the ring, then at the twins' hopeful faces, then at Elliot, who's watching her with so much love it makes her eyes burn. She spent 5 years being invisible, 5 years believing she was temporary, 5 years loving these people and thinking she'd never be allowed to claim them as her own. And now they're asking her to stay, not just as the help, not just as the woman who takes care of things, as family. Yes, Maya whispers, her voice breaking. Yes, of course I'll marry you. The twins explode into cheers. Sophia nearly drops the box in her excitement. Ethan throws his arms around Maya's waist, squeezing tight. Elliot crosses to her, takes the ring from the box and slides it onto her finger. It fits perfectly. He kisses her while the twins bounce around them chanting, "She said yes! She said yes!" And Maya thinks, for the first time in her entire life, that maybe she's exactly where she's supposed to be. The moment is pure and perfect in theirs. And then the doorbell rings. Everyone freezes. It's 8:30 at night. They're not expecting anyone. Elliot frowns, glances at Maya, then stands. I'll get it. Maya's stomach twists with sudden anxiety. She doesn't know why. It's probably nothing. A delivery, a neighbor. But some instinct makes her stand and follow Elliot to the door, the twins trailing behind her. Elliot looks through the window, and his entire body goes rigid. What is it? Maya asks. It's Isabella. The words land like a stone. Maya's hand instinctively goes to the twins, pulling them close. Sophia presses against her leg. Ethan's smile has vanished. Elliot looks back at Maya, his expression questioning. She can send Isabella away. He'll do it without hesitation, but Maya shakes her head slightly. If Isabella is here, if she's come back, then they need to face this now. They need to end it, once and for all. Elliot opens the door. Isabella stands on the front step in another expensive outfit, her makeup perfect, her hair styled. But there's something different about her tonight. Something harder, more determined. I need to talk to you, she says without preamble. It's late, Elliot says. The twins are about to go to bed. This won't take long. Isabella's eyes flick past him, landing on Maya and the twins. Her expression tightens. Please, just give me 5 minutes. Elliot doesn't move. What do you want, Isabella? I want to talk about custody arrangements, visitation. I've been thinking about what you said, and I think we can work something out that's fair for everyone. Maya's grip on the twins tightens. Elliot's voice is flat. There's nothing to work out. We've been over this. I spoke to a lawyer, Isabella says. I know I signed papers, but there are precedents for overturning those in cases where the mother wasn't in a sound mental state. I can make an argument. You could try, Elliot agrees, and you'd lose. We've been through this. Maybe. Isabella's eyes flash. But it would be public. It would be messy. And I don't think you want that, do you? The billionaire who let his maid replace his children's mother. The press would have a field day. It's a threat. Thinly veiled, but unmistakable. Maya feels ice spread through her veins. Elliot's voice drops to something cold and dangerous. Are you trying to blackmail me? I'm trying to see my children, Isabella says, her voice rising. I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm asking for visitation, not full custody. A few weekends, holidays. Is that really so much? Yes, Maya says quietly. Isabella's head snaps toward her. Excuse me? Maya steps forward, keeping the twins behind her. It is too much. Because they don't know you. They don't want to know you. And forcing them to spend time with you would hurt them. I'm their mother. No, Maya says, her voice steady. You're not. Isabella's face goes white. How dare you? I'm their mother. Maya's voice is calm, but there's steel underneath. Legally, on paper. I adopted them 2 weeks ago. The court approved it. They're mine, Isabella, not yours. The color drains completely from Isabella's face. She stares at Maya, then at Elliot, then back at Maya. You adopted them? Yes, that's not possible. I didn't consent. You didn't have to, Elliot says quietly. You terminated your parental rights, remember? Which means you had no say in who adopted them. Isabella's breathing is coming fast now, her composure fracturing. You can't just erase me. I'm their biological mother. That has to count for something. It doesn't. Maya says gently. Not in the eyes of the law. And not in their hearts. Isabella's gaze drops to the twins, who are half hidden behind Maya's legs. Is that true? Do you really not want to know me? Sophia presses closer to Maya. Ethan doesn't answer. Isabella's voice breaks. I'm trying. I'm here. Doesn't that matter? You're here now, Maya says quietly. But where were you for the last 5 years? Where were you when Ethan had pneumonia and we spent 3 nights in the hospital? Where were you when Sophia learned to read and was so proud she read the same book 17 times? Where were you for any of it? Isabella's eyes fill with tears. I made a mistake. Yes, Maya agrees. You did. And I'm sorry you're hurting. But your mistake doesn't get to become their trauma. The truth of it hangs in the air, undeniable. Isabella looks around wildly, searching for something to hold on to, some argument that will change this. Her eyes land on Maya's hand. On the ring. She goes very still. What is that? Her voice is barely a whisper. Maya doesn't hide it. She lets Isabella see. We're engaged, Elliot says quietly. I asked her tonight. Isabella's face crumples. You're going to marry the maid. I'm going to marry the woman I love, Elliot corrects. The woman who saved my family. The woman who's been there for every single moment that mattered. Isabella's laugh is bitter, broken. This is insane. You're going to let her just take over my entire life. My children, my fiancé. I was never your fiancé, Elliot interrupts. You left me at the altar, remember? You got on a plane with someone else while our children were 4 months old. And now you've replaced me with the help. Isabella's voice is shaking. Do you have any idea how this looks? I don't care how it looks, Elliot says firmly. I care that it's real. Isabella turns to Maya, her expression desperate now. What do you want? Money? Is that what this is about? You saw an opportunity and you took it? Maya's voice is quiet. I want you to leave us alone. They're my children. They're their own people, Maya says. And when they're older, when they're ready, if they want to know you, I won't stop them. I'll tell them the truth about you, all of it, the good and the bad. And I'll let them decide. But not now. Not now, Maya confirms. Now, they need stability. They need to know that the people in their lives aren't going anywhere. And I can't promise them that if you're here. Isabella stares at her, and something in her expression finally breaks. The anger, the desperation, the fight, it all drains away, leaving something hollow behind. I saw the Forbes cover, she admits quietly. That's why I came back. You were right about that. The confession hangs in the air. The athlete dumped me 6 months ago, Isabella continues, her voice flat. He found someone younger, someone who didn't have baggage, and I was alone for the first time in years, and I saw Elliot's face on that magazine and I thought. She trails off. You thought you could come back, Maya finishes gently. You thought you could reclaim what you gave up. I thought I deserved another chance, Isabella whispers. Maybe you do, Maya says. But not with them. Not now. They didn't do anything to deserve having their lives turned upside down because you changed your mind. Isabella closes her eyes. When she opens them again, they're empty, resigned. I really thought I'd come back, she says. I really did. I thought there'd be more time. There was time, Elliot says. You chose not to use it. Isabella nods slowly. She looks at the twins one last time, and her face is full of something that might be regret, or might just be grief for a life she could have had but threw away. She stops, swallows. Can I at least say goodbye? Maya looks down at the twins. Do you want to say goodbye to Isabella? Sophia shakes her head. Ethan just stares at the floor. Maya looks back at Isabella and shakes her head slightly. Isabella's face crumbles, but she doesn't argue. She just nods, turns, and walks back to her car. She stops with her hand on the door handle and looks back one more time. Maya is standing in the doorway with Elliot beside her, his arm around her shoulders. The twins are in front of them, safe and secure and whole. A family. Complete without her. Isabella gets in her car and drives away. This time, she doesn't call ahead. She doesn't make threats. She just leaves. And Maya watches the taillights disappear into the night and feels something she hasn't felt in 5 years. Peace. Inside, the twins are quiet. Sophia climbs onto the couch and curls into a ball. Ethan sits next to her, his face troubled. Maya sits down between them, pulling them both close. Are you guys okay? She asks softly. Sophia nods against her shoulder. Ethan doesn't answer for a long moment. Then he says, voice small, Is she going to keep coming back? Maya exchanges a glance with Elliot, who's leaning against the doorway. I don't think so, Maya says honestly. I think she understands now that this is our family. Just the four of us. Good, Sophia whispers. I don't like when she comes. It feels weird. I know, baby. I know. Ethan looks up at Maya, his eyes serious. You're not going to leave, right? Like she did? Maya's heart breaks. She cups his face in her hands, looking him straight in the eyes. I am never, ever leaving you. Do you understand? Never. I'm your mom. Forever. That's not going to change. Even if someone else comes along? Ethan presses. Someone better? There is no one better, Maya says firmly. You two are the best thing that ever happened to me, and I chose you, not because I had to, because I wanted to, and I'm going to keep choosing you every single day for the rest of my life. Ethan searches her face, then nods slowly. Sophia sits up, looking at the ring on Maya's finger. So we're really going to be a family, with a wedding and everything. Maya smiles. We already are a family. The wedding just makes it official. Can I wear a fancy dress? Sophia asks. The fanciest, Maya promises. Can I be the ring bearer? Ethan adds. Absolutely. The twins relax, the tension finally draining from their small bodies. Elliot crosses to the couch and sits on the armrest, his hand resting on Maya's shoulder. You guys okay with all this? He asks. With me marrying Maya? Both twins nod enthusiastically. Good, Elliot says, his voice soft. Because she's the best thing that ever happened to all of us. Maya leans into him, feeling the warmth of his hand, the solid presence of him beside her. And she thinks about the young woman she was 5 years ago, folding laundry in a stranger's house and believing that being useful was the closest she'd ever get to being loved. She thinks about all the nights she stayed when leaving would have been easier. All the moments she chose these children when no one would have blamed her for choosing herself. All the years of quiet, invisible work that no one saw but that built the foundation of everything real in her life. And she realizes something profound. She didn't win because Isabella lost. She won because she stayed. Because love isn't about who shows up when it's convenient. It's about who shows up when it's hard. And she showed up. Every single day. For 5 years. And now, finally, she gets to keep what she built. 2 months later, on a Saturday afternoon in early June, Maya Torres becomes Maya Wilson. The wedding is small, intimate, held in the garden where she used to watch the twins play while Elliot worked late into the night. Back when she was just the maid and he was just her employer, and neither of them knew they were building toward this. The twins walk down the aisle first. Sophia, in a white dress that makes her look like a tiny princess, scattering rose petals with intense concentration. Ethan in a little suit, carrying the rings on a velvet pillow, his face very serious. Then Maya. She doesn't have anyone to walk her down the aisle. Her mother passed years ago, and her father was never in the picture. But she doesn't need anyone. She walks alone, her head high, her dress simple and elegant, and she feels more herself than she ever has. Elliot waits for her at the end of the aisle, and when he sees her, his eyes fill with tears. She crosses to him, takes his hands, and the officiant begins. The vows aren't long. They don't need to be. Elliot promises to see her, to honor her, to build a life where her steadiness is celebrated, not taken for granted. Maya promises to keep choosing him, to keep showing up, to keep building the infrastructure of love that holds a family together even when everything else is chaos. They're not vows about passion or destiny. They're vows about partnership, about the daily choice to stay. When the officiant pronounces them married, Elliot kisses her like she's the answer to every question he's ever asked. The twins cheer. The small gathering of friends and colleagues applaud. And Maya thinks, this is what it feels like to be seen, not because she performed, not because she convinced anyone, just because she was present. And presence, it turns out, is the most powerful thing in the world. At the reception, held in the same garden under string lights that make everything feel magical, one of Elliot's board members stands to give a toast. He's a man in his 60s, distinguished and silver-haired, and he's known Elliot since the company was just an idea scribbled on napkins. I've watched Elliot build an empire, the board member says, raising his glass. I've seen him turn impossible ideas into reality, but the smartest thing he's ever done wasn't creating an algorithm or closing a deal. He looks at Maya. It was recognizing the value of the person who was right in front of him, all along. The crowd murmurs in agreement. Maya isn't just the woman behind the man, the board member continues. She's the woman building half the empire. She closed the largest partnership deal in our company's history last month. She oversees operations across 15 countries, and she does it all while raising 2 incredible kids and making it look effortless. He raises his glass higher, to Maya, who proves that real power isn't about titles or status. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work no one else sees until it becomes impossible to ignore. The crowd toasts. Maya's cheeks flush. Elliot squeezes her hand under the table, and Maya realizes that she's not invisible anymore. She's irreplaceable. Later, after the guests have left, after the twins have been tucked into bed by their grandmother, Elliot's mother, who flew in for the wedding and sobbed through the entire ceremony, Maya and Elliot stand alone in the garden. The string lights are still on, casting everything in a warm glow. Elliot's jacket is off, his tie loosened. Maya's shoes are abandoned somewhere near the dance floor they set up on the lawn. They're not talking, just standing together, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist. Maya looks up at the house, their house, and thinks about everything that's happened in these walls. The heartbreak, the exhaustion, the 3 a.m. fevers and the first steps and the tantrums and the laughter and the slow, steady building of something real. She thinks about Isabella, somewhere out in the world, scrolling through social media and seeing the wedding photos that were posted by well-meaning guests. She wonders if Isabella feels regret. She wonders if Isabella finally understands what she gave up. But mostly, Maya realizes she doesn't think about Isabella at all anymore, because Isabella is the past. And this family, this life, this love, is the future. Elliot turns to her, his expression soft in the dim light. "What are you thinking about?" Maya smiles. "How lucky I am." "I'm the lucky one," Elliot says. "You saved me, Maya. You saved all of us. We saved each other," Maya corrects gently. And it's true. He needed her steadiness. She needed his recognition. He needed someone to see him as more than his success. She needed someone to see her as more than her usefulness. They built each other into better versions of themselves. And that, Maya thinks, is what love actually is. Not finding someone perfect, but finding someone worth building with. "Dance with me," Elliot says suddenly. There's no music. So what? He pulls her close and they sway gently in the quiet garden, moving to a rhythm only they can hear. And Maya thinks about the girl she was 5 years ago, heartbroken and invisible, taking a job as a maid because she needed to feel useful to someone. That girl would never have believed this ending was possible. But that girl didn't understand what Maya knows now. That love isn't something you earn. It's something you build, one small choice at a time. One moment of staying when leaving would be easier. One act of showing up when no one's watching. Until one day you look around and realize you've built a life so solid, so real, so rooted in presence that no one can take it from you. Because it was never about being chosen. It was about choosing. And Maya chose this. Every single day. For 5 years. And now she gets to keep it. Forever. Family, let me talk to you for a minute. What you just watched isn't just a story about a breakup or a comeback or even a romance. It's about something deeper. Something I need you to really hear. Isabella didn't lose because Maya was prettier or smarter or more strategic. She lost because she fundamentally misunderstood what makes a person valuable. She thought worth was something you borrowed from powerful people. She thought that standing next to greatness made you great. She believed that your value came from who you were seen with, not who you were when no one was watching. But Maya understood something Isabella never learned. Your worth is built in the unsexy, unwitnessed hours of simply showing up. It's built in the 3 a.m. fevers when you're so exhausted you can barely stand, but you get up anyway because someone needs you. It's built in the scraped knees you bandage, and the nightmares you chase away, and the lunches you pack, and the stories you read for the 100th time, even though you're sick of hearing them. It's built in staying when leaving would be easier. It's built in loving people not because of what they can give you, but because they need you and you choose to be needed. See, loyalty, real loyalty, isn't about being a doormat. It's not about erasing yourself for someone else's comfort. Maya didn't lose herself in loving those children. She discovered that the truest version of who she was wasn't the woman trying to be enough for a man who called her too steady. It was the woman who was steady enough to build a family from broken pieces. And here's what I need you to understand, because this is the part that's going to change your life if you let it. The world will try to convince you that power comes from status, from titles, from corner offices and social media followers, and who you're seen with at important events. But real power, the kind that can't be taken from you, the kind that builds legacies, comes from being irreplaceable in the small daily ways. Maya became the COO, not because she manipulated her way there, not because Elliot felt sorry for her. She became the COO because for 3 years she was the person who saw what needed to happen and made it happen. She was the infrastructure. She was the foundation. And here's the thing about infrastructure. It's invisible until it's gone. And then everything collapses. That's the lesson Isabella learned too late. You can't unplug for 5 years and expect to plug back in at a higher level. Life doesn't work that way. Relationships don't work that way. Love doesn't work that way. You can't abandon people when they're inconvenient and expect them to welcome you back when you decide they're worth your time. Those twins didn't reject Isabella because Maya poisoned them against her. They rejected her because children are brutally honest about who makes them feel safe. They can't be manipulated into loving someone. They love who shows up, who stays, who sees them when they're messy and sick and inconvenient and loves them anyway. So if you're watching this and you feel invisible right now, if you're in a place where you're doing all the work and getting none of the credit, if you're the reliable one, the steady one, the one everyone takes for granted, I need you to hear this. Your presence matters more than you know. The daily acts of care that no one applauds, the reliability that people assume will always be there, the steadiness that gets called boring, that's not weakness. That's the foundation of everything real. That's what holds families together and builds companies and creates the kind of love that lasts. Don't chase people who only see your value when someone else does. Don't beg for a seat at tables where you have to shrink to fit. Don't compete for space in rooms that require you to be less than you are. Instead, do what Maya did. Show up, build something, love without keeping score, and trust that the right people will see you. Not because you performed or convinced or manipulated, but because your presence became the answer to a question they didn't know they were asking. And if someone walks away from you the way Isabella walked away from those babies, let them go. Don't audition for their return. Don't leave the door open for people who only come back when you've become successful enough to be worth their time. Because anyone who only sees your value after the world validates it didn't ever really see you at all. I'm praying for you tonight. I'm praying that you recognize your own worth before the world does. I'm praying that you find the courage to stay in the rooms where you're needed and the wisdom to leave the rooms where you're just tolerated. I'm praying that you stop measuring yourself by the people who left and start seeing yourself through the eyes of the people who stayed. I'm praying that you build something so real, so solid, so rooted in genuine love and presence that no one can take it from you. And I'm praying that when your moment comes, when the person who underestimated you finally sees what they lost, you're so far beyond them that their recognition doesn't even matter anymore. May you find your Elliot. Someone who sees you when you're covered in exhaustion and chaos and loves you more, not less. Someone who recognizes that steadiness isn't boring. It's rare. It's precious. It's the thing that builds empires. May you become your own Maya. Someone who knows that the work you do in the dark will always shine brighter than the performance someone does in the spotlight. And may you have the strength to close the door on every Isabella in your life. Every person who only wants you when you're useful. Every person who only sees you when you're successful. Every person who only comes back when their first choice doesn't work out. You are not beta software. You are not a backup plan. You are not the person someone settles for when their upgrade doesn't arrive. You are the answer, the foundation, the infrastructure, the steady heartbeat that keeps everything alive. Don't you ever forget it. Your crown is coming, and when it arrives, it's going to fit perfectly, because you built it yourself. One quiet, invisible, powerful choice at a time. 6 months after the wedding, on a crisp autumn evening, Maya sits in the twins' room reading them a bedtime story. It's a book about a girl who plants a garden and tends it every day, even when nothing seems to be growing, and then one morning wakes up to find flowers everywhere. Sophia is already half asleep, her thumb in her mouth. Ethan is fighting it, his eyes drooping but determined to hear the end. Maya finishes the last page and closes the book. "Mama," Ethan says quietly. The word still makes Maya's heart skip. They started calling her that a month after the wedding, and she's never gotten used to how right it sounds. "Yeah, buddy? Are you happy?" The question catches her off guard. "Of course I am. Why?" Ethan shrugs, his little face serious. "I just wanted to make sure, because you make us happy, so I wanted to make sure we make you happy too." Maya's throat tightens. She sets the book down and pulls him close, pressing a kiss to the top of his head. "You make me the happiest person in the world," she whispers. "Both of you. Every single day." Ethan hugs her tight. "Good. Now go to sleep." "Okay." She tucks him in, smooths his hair, and stands. At the doorway, she pauses and looks back at them. These 2 children who came into her life when she wasn't looking for them, who needed her when she didn't think she had anything to give, who taught her that love isn't about being chosen. It's about choosing. She turns off the light, leaving the door cracked open the way Ethan likes it, and walks downstairs. Elliot is in the kitchen, loading the dishwasher and humming to himself. Maya leans against the doorway and watches him. He looks up and smiles. They asleep? Almost. He crosses to her, wrapping his arms around her waist and pulling her close. How was your day? Long. Good. We finalized the contract with a tech firm in Singapore. I heard. Congratulations, Mrs. Wilson. She smiles at the name. Still getting used to that, too. How was yours? She asks. Also long, also good. I spent most of it in meetings, but I kept thinking about coming home to you. He says things like that now, without hesitation, without embarrassment, like loving her is the easiest thing in the world. Maybe it is. Maya rests her head on his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. Do you ever think about her? She asks quietly. Who, Isabella? Yeah, Elliot is quiet for a moment. Sometimes. But not the way you think. I don't miss her. I just wonder if she's okay. If she ever figured out what she was actually looking for. Do you think she'll come back again? Maybe, but it won't matter. He pulls back just enough to look at her. She's not part of our lives anymore, Maya. She made her choice, and we made ours. Maya nods. She doesn't think about Isabella often either. But sometimes, late at night, she wonders if Isabella ever realizes what she lost. If she ever scrolls through photos of the twins and feels the weight of all those missed moments. If she ever understands that you can't just walk back into lives you walked out of and expect everything to be waiting for you. But mostly, Maya doesn't wonder. Because Isabella is a footnote in a story that was never really about her. This story, the one that matters, is about a young woman who learned that love isn't something you earn through usefulness. It's something you build through presence. It's about two children who needed someone and found exactly who they were looking for. It's about a man who learned to see